So one thing that
Post BTS, right?
no, behind us is pre-BTS.
Oh, that's pre-BTS.
Yes,
Okay.
post BTS will come later. So
We're going to get to post BTS, right? You're keeping me in suspense.
I know, right? So first,
Well, can I just to that point, Martina, one of the things that we have discovered is that by moving some elements from post-BTS to pre-BTS, we actually believe we will create a better BTS experience, eliminate some of the work out of post-BTS, and get them ramped up quicker. So we are filling up pre-BTS with activities that would normally sometimes be covered in post-BTS.
I think that's very fair. I have two concerns that I just hope that you keep in front of you. One is, I've already discussed the burden on adult learning from the amount of new information that comes at you in BTS, and now we're increasing that, right? So we know we have a retention issue, and we're loading more topics into a short framework. And the second piece is that I also wanted to give people a way to feel connected to the MO for their first 6 months, that there was always a voice on the other end of the line. If we cram it all into the first 5 weeks, we're still throwing them into the deep water when they're very new in their jobs. So I didn't mind some of the topics stretching out if it meant that we were touching them frequently over that transition period. So that's just food for thought, and I respect the work and the thinking that you've done, but those were two objectives for the whole program that I want to make sure we don't lose sight of.
Yeah, so just to those 2 points, we believe that we actually have created much more of a sense of community in the pre-BTS part, where that was missing, I think, before. And some of the learning is done more in a cohort perspective there, so we actually think we have also made the learning easier.
and the van ride's more effective.
On the same level from someone from Tunnel Bay than someone from Toronto.
Yes, and then the second part to your question is, we will have that sense of there's somebody on the other side of the line post-BTS either way.
Okay,
So
well,
we
like I
basically-
said, and you guys are doing the work, so.
We will basically have calls on every Monday and Friday of weeks or months after BTS,
Okay.
okay?
All right. So a big part of what we were discovering today was separating what elements of pre-training are absolutely necessary for the RM to participate in, and what can be outsourced to other experts or champions, if you will. And we've also designated that Mondays and Fridays are going to be those RM days, so they can bookend the week. And the middle of the week will be mostly van rides, BTS, the workbook, and Fuse. And then in, week 2? In week 2 of their pre-training, at the middle of the week, we hope to replace the Canadian New Hire Immigration Program with a 1 day. And it's going to be mostly orientation, high-level understanding of the company, integration, tour of the facility, and then we've also managed to take one of the most difficult hands-on days, which is the diamond training, and we're gonna utilize Joe and his shop in-house for that.
Okay, and Joe's on board with it?
Yes.
Okay.
He was very, very happy, and we really want to make sure that, you know, the tour of C2020 will be represented throughout the day with like a CMT member at the end of the day, talking about VIP, doing a customer service shadowing, just to understand well the pyramid for C2020.
Okay.
And before we move on to post-BTS, there was one thing that we need to rediscuss. Yesterday we discussed having 2 fixed start dates a month, but we're thinking with how this has been rolling out that it would make more sense to have 1 fixed start date a month. And then it would make more financial sense as well. But now we can move on to post-BTS.
Well,
Hold on, Wish, you need to. So Martina, when you think about the HR or the recruiting calendar, by design, they give you what is referred to as that cutoff date, and then 4 weeks later you land up going to BTS. Now, that cutoff date seems to be,
Understood.
well, misunderstood, meaning as long as I hire by, I'm safe. But I can hire anytime before that, and I'm still safe. What we are saying is absolutely not. This cutoff date is the only date, is your only start date, and that is exactly 4 weeks before BTS. If you cannot start on this day, you start on the next cutoff day. And so we're not hiring early. We're not hiring 6 weeks before, 5 weeks before, 8 weeks before. We have one example where it was 10 weeks before.
Yeah.
And so the question is, are we willing as an organization to just say absolutely not? This is your start date. And if you cannot meet it, we go to the next.
And to add one thing, it will make
Yeah.
organizing those first days very easy for the RMs because they will know in advance the next 12 start dates for the year. And they will be able to plan in their calendar, I will be available for those start dates.
Well, that's good, Eddie, that's an excellent point, because that was gonna be my first question. The only reason for flexibility would be that if an RM was gonna be on vacation or something, they could come in a couple days early, but I suppose that, if we're gonna take some of the load off the RM's plate, there's no problem with everybody in a cohort starting on the same day. And I certainly like the possibility, not to burn money before someone's productive. I'd rather bring them on and have them do something productive from day one. So I guess, is Amanda or in the room, or I don't know if Eddie, you're speaking for recruiting as well, but how much of a burden is that on the recruiting team?
That's an interesting question. It is something that I was thinking about, but I've seen Amanda do many a splendid thing, especially since it was night and day when she came on. So I don't think it's going to be a huge issue for recruiting. If anything, it makes it even more structured and takes away a lot of the guessing.
And Martina, it's Jason.
So then the only related piece to recruiting, and it would be something for you guys to bring up with Jason, because I think we need to get Philip's sign up on this, is that
Jason is here.
Jason,
I'm here, Martina.
The bonuses of the recruiters are paid based on time to fill, and if we can somehow manually adjust, so time to fill is assigned to offer and not somebody on board, because it could be the case that we bring somebody on and their start date is 3 weeks hence, right? So we have to make sure that our compensation scheme reflects this decision if this is the way we go.
Okay.
Yeah, so Martina, quickly, that's a note that I took as well to talk to Philip about. In fact, we're recording this, so he's going to get the question. So it's, for Canada, especially for the pilot, it is something that would impact not only the recruiters, but my bonus as well as Julie's. So having a conversation about how to change that for sure. And then the other thing is, this activity, the batching of hires, is already happening in CS. So Amanda already hires customer service reps in batches. So this would be a new thing for the field, but not necessarily for customer service.
Right. The other impact that the AM doesn't know about yet, but that we eliminate, is if you're hiring too early, so you have those upfront costs, right, Martina? But then the AM and their guarantee, their bonus guarantee, in some cases is exhausted. It's burnt out before they actually get into the field. And
then we have cases where division managers are arbitrarily extending guarantees, and I don't think that's the right thing to do. So I like this. This is a great idea.
Right. Okay.
We tried initially to come to with those 2 days. We just, at the end, it just didn't make any sense. So we kind of said, what is driving the 2 days? And we couldn't really find a good reason other than the fact that we wanted to hire as quick as possible.
Right.
But that has no business benefit, and frankly, it has no benefit for the AM or for the RM. So it really doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yep.
And I just had we looked at your numbers yesterday that you asked yesterday. With regards to how many, and basically, if you do it by month, so if they would start on the month that we have, can you share that?
I think I can share this.
You're looking at anywhere between Well, there's one period where there was 0 hires, and then there's either between 5 and 11 per month, so to speak, per BTS cycle.
Martina, can you see the screen?
I still see Carl. I think it's Carl, he's far away.
Yeah, that's me.
Why is it not?
Okay, got it now,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Oh,
Oh, I lost it again.
Yeah,
There we go.
Okay, so if you look at column G, those would be the number of attendees per month, roughly
See,
from
that's
last year.
pretty spread out and pretty reasonable.
Yes.
And it's all in the same year. In fact, their orientation occurs in pretty much, if we're going with one date,
Yeah.
it occurs 10 days after they're hired.
That's great, I love that.
And it's a lot more manageable than the 20-person classes for the Canadian New Hire Integration Program later on.
For sure.
And part of that BTS work is to create from day one with those new AMs the cohort feeling. That's one of the reasons why I said that they will feel more part of the organization, because those 7 or 8 together will be on the call starting in day 1 together.
Yes.
They will be here 2 weeks into their tenure together, and then they will go to BTS together, right?
And so considering the bonding that they will achieve during that day in Mississauga, as well as the high-level overview of our vision, our Canadians moving down to Tulsa for a month are going to have a huge leg up on their American counterparts, I believe. I really believe that.
So we should think about, Eddie, maybe, when we send out the welcome package and everything, maybe there's even a photo journal of everybody who's joining with you right from day 1.
Oh,
right?
that's a fantastic idea. I mean, if we're gonna be batching, that's a fantastic idea. I love it.
That's a good idea.
So, post BTS, we've been organizing the tasks that need to be done, both by RMs or the supporting members of our staff. However, a lot of this was decided by the RMs and AMs in the room, so I won't speak too deeply into it, but we've just begun. We've only just begun. We've got up to roughly part of week 5 in, what is this, month 2 after?
Yes.
Okay, so we've started to plan out the first and second month after BTS, but we're still hammering out the details.
Hang on